Hey, I'm Matt Geiger with Cape Fear Family Law. I'm here today to talk with you a little bit about a recent case that came down from the North Carolina Court of Appeals about child custody and specifically relocating with your child. The case is Tuel v. Tuel out of Johnston County, North Carolina. The trial court judge was Addie, Rawls. The defendant in this case appealed the order that granted the plaintiff primary physical custody of the minor children and permitted her to relocate to Indiana to live with her family. In May of 2017, the plaintiff actually filed an action for child custody, and the following day she took the children and left and went to Indiana. In August of 2017, the parties actually entered into a temporary consent order by which the plaintiff had to return from Indiana with the children until the issue of permanent custody could be resolved. On July 5th, 2018, the court actually had a permanent custody hearing in Johnston County. And during that hearing, there was a lot of testimony from both parties and evidence presented. There was testimony from the plaintiff that she had an estranged relationship with her parents, and this was documented by notes from her therapist, blog posts, and journal entries that she had made. In fact, in 2014, the plaintiff cut off all contact with her family and didn't reinitiate contact with them until May of 2017. So after that hearing, the court granted primary physical custody to the plaintiff and allowed her to relocate with her children to Indiana. So when the defendant appealed this, he appealed under the grounds of abuse of discretion and stated that the trial court didn't make proper findings of fact to support their conclusions of law. And in relocation cases, there is a case called Ramirez-Barker v. Barker. In that case, the Court of Appeals laid down 5 different factors that courts should consider in relocation cases. Those 5 factors are as follows: the advantages of relocation in terms of its capacity to improve the life of the child, the motives of the custodial parent in seeking the move, the likelihood that the custodial parent will comply with visitation orders when he or she is no longer subject to jurisdiction in North Carolina, the integrity of the non-custodial parent in resisting the relocation, and the likelihood that a realistic visitation schedule can be arranged, which will preserve and foster the parental relationship with the non-custodial parent. So as the court is looking over the trial court's ruling, they noted that the court had found that both the plaintiff and defendant were fit and proper parties to exercise custody and that the children would thrive under either of their care. However, the court failed to make a finding of fact explaining why primary custody with the plaintiff would be in the children's best interest, other than to simply reference they had a family support network in Indiana, that family support network being the plaintiff's family. Several of the findings of fact were inconsistent. For example, the trial court found that the plaintiff's mental health issues were partially caused by being the primary caregiver of the minor children. Yet, they didn't explain how these issues wouldn't be exacerbated by placing the children in her primary care and sending them to live with her parents, who she had her own issues with. Ultimately, the court found that the trial court's findings did not support its conclusion of law, giving the plaintiff primary physical custody and permitting relocation. Therefore, the trial court abused its discretion, the judgment was vacated, and the case was remanded. I think this ruling provides a lot of guidance when it comes to relocation cases. If you're a parent looking to relocate, I think you can use these factors as a guiding tool to provide you with an outline of what you need in order to prepare yourself best for court. Thank you for watching, and I hope this video provided you with some information on child custody and specifically relocation. As always, like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments if you have any questions. Thanks.